Ready? Y'all okay on that way?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd like to call the pre-council meeting to order for our regular meeting tonight, Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022. Just a reminder, if you would, please, to turn any cell phones you may have either to silent or off for the meeting, so there will not be any disruption to the meeting. We would really appreciate that. We'll run down the agenda tonight. We don't have a big agenda, so it looks like it might be a fairly easy night tonight. First thing we'll do is call to order, and it appears everybody's here tonight. Don't see any problems there. Invocation, Mr. Butler did it last week. Moving down, it'll be me this week unless we have somebody wanting to do the invocation. If not, I will lead invocation in the pledge. Like I said, roll call, everybody's here. We have the agenda. Is there any additions that we need to make to the agenda? The only thing that I had seen is I know that last week we discussed in our workshop, having a workshop next week, next Tuesday night, I think at 6 p.m. So if we need to add that, if we still intend to do that, and I'm assuming we will. So,
Yeah.
okay. We add that to, I guess that would be E, just to. Correct. And then we'll set the items at the end of the meeting on what we want to put on there, but obviously we know the budget is going to be the main thing. Okay, in our packet tonight, you have the minutes from our last regular meeting, which was held September the 6th here. I looked over the minutes. Do y'all have any additions, deletions, corrections that need to be made? If not, I will need a motion to approve. Mr. Skelton, Mr. Phillips. Okay, we had a workshop here last Tuesday night, September 13th, 2022. It was listed in the in here in your minutes, the topics that we covered, which basically was just basically what we had said we would cover in the meeting. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions that we need to make to that? If none, I'll entertain a motion.
I can handle that one also. I'll second.
Mr. Skelton will need a second.
I'll give it.
Mr. Little. Okay, we have recognitions. Officer Cherry. Is he going to be here tonight? Yes, sir. Do you have verified that? Okay, we'll have that at 7 o'clock. Visitors tonight. On our agenda, we have two. Mr. Brent Rawson to speak on about baseball fields and the reindeer run to be held on December the 10th, 2022. I think Mr. Rawson is in the back there. Would please come on up, and sometimes we can knock a lot of this out in our pre-council and keep moving.
Yeah. Hey, my name's Brent Rawson. I'm at 5710 2nd Street. We would, on behalf of the First Baptist Church of Satsuma, we'd like to hold the reindeer run on December 10th this year. And I can get the chiefs. I think you'll probably have the route, but I can get it to you if I need to. It's the same as it's been for 7-8 years. So, but we'd like to do that again this year. We had a real good turnout last year, and the athletes like to come up here because of the support they get, and the crowd, and fun, and all that. So if that's all right, we'll plan on that day. The race will start at 8 o'clock, and then there'll be a 1 mile fun run afterwards. So.
Randy, are you going to try to beat me again this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
No, he always beats me.
We have a good time with it, so.
I enjoy it.
Is that okay? What do I do? Yep.
I don't have any questions. Does any of the council have any questions?
Looking forward to it.
If you would, timely manner, please get with the two chiefs so they can make
Yeah,
sure,
I'll send it.
along with the
I'll send it
public
over to you.
works, that we make any, preparations or accommodations to host the
Yeah,
run.
They always do. They always help me out, so, but we'll continue that. The second reason I'm here is, I recently moved and, in full disclosure, I'm renting a house from one of the city council members. He is not the reason I'm here. I am here, just on my behalf and my wife. One of the things, since we've only been there a few weeks, and, there's a lot of baseballs that fly into our yard. The neighbors, one of their windows has been broken with it, and then one, their grandson was almost hit by one. And I'm just asking if there's any way we could look into the possibility of getting nets or something put up just around that back corner. Saturday, there was a car hit on Magnolia. I was outside and I heard it actually get hit. It was a foul ball that they hit. I don't know you take a risk living by a ballpark. I get it, But if we park we have 3 cars, and when we're parked in the yard, these things are coming at us. Many times I've looked out, my dog will go crazy, and I look out the window and there's somebody in the yard picking up baseballs. And so it's this one I picked up under the carport tonight as I was leaving. So it's happening. And I just don't know if there's anything like the little field over there's got some netting behind it. I don't know if there's something like that we could just look at. I don't want people to not be able to play at the ballpark, but I also don't want my wife's car's window to be smashed out from it. And it's not little kids. It's people coming up there and off times. But part of the charm of our city is that you can go to the parks and play and do those things. I don't want that to be policed. And if there's nothing that can be done, okay. I'll bubble wrap my wife's car. I'll do something. But I just didn't know if there was something we could look at to see, I had spoken to Allison about it and took her up there. And I think I showed you some of the balls in the bushes, didn't I?
You did, and I think for me, the biggest thing is, I occasionally ride my bike past there or run past there, or if anybody's out, the potential of getting hit by, a baseball.
Yeah.
It's, and we're not, like you said, we're not talking about the kids that are there for the normal baseball league. It's people there in
It's
the
older
evenings or
ones
on
that
the
are,
weekends.
they're out there, dad and son throwing the balls. I love that they do. I think that's part of our, part of the charm of the city. So, but I just didn't know if there was something that we could look at or something, or, if y'all wanted me to meet you there at some point and we can look at it together, or whatever you want to do. It's fine. But like I said, I just don't want to replace windows in cars. So, if that makes sense. So, but that's all I got.
And you did tell me that the neighbors had said it's been going on for years, and nobody's just, maybe 10 years ago, somebody came and nothing happened.
Yeah,
and-
what the gentleman, Randy, what's the guy to the left of me, his name?
Chancey.
Yeah, I believe he said he came about 10 years ago and said something to the team. And it may have been longer or shorter, I don't know, but he said, because they had an actual window broken in their home. And I think sometimes I know it's landing in my yard because I saw it happen the other day, but sometimes I think it's hitting that concrete and skipping and, and again, if this is the worst problem I have, I feel okay about that. But I just didn't know what y'all would think about that or what, or what I need to do.
Brent, I'm not sure if I understand the net maker that we used years ago is no longer in business. I'll get with James and Travis tomorrow and we can see who they got the last net. Do y'all know who they bought the last nets from? So we can see if they're still, what the time frame of the cost would be.
I guess you would just look online to buy a net and get the length you wanted, the height, and I don't know if you have to have somebody to make a net.
Why don't you let me try to get with James? He still comes 2 or 3 days a week and find out who they got put the last nets up for them and see if they're still around or available, or if we can get them. If not, we will, like you said, we'll try to look online or find out from some of the other cities that put them up.
Yeah.
Try to get you an answer. Can you give us a week or two?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it's not, I mean, like I said, it's just, we've been there about a
Certainly don't mind
month.
looking into it and let's, look at the cost and,
Yeah. And it may be too much, I
No,
mean,
right,
maybe,
right.
but I felt like I didn't want to go out there and put a net up myself, so, felt like y'all might be people to talk to, so.
well,
And Mayor, it wouldn't be the whole length of that fence. It would be like to the scoreboard and
That's
then
kinda what we
over to
looked
the third base corner.
okay.
We walked around it just a little bit to see, and from what my vision, or at least what I've seen in the last, couple of weeks, is not really, it's kind of just almost down to that scoreboard. That's where I've seen them jumping over and all. And I mean, it's a park,
Let us get a little information and see what the cost is and what the time frame would be to,
that's fine. I just want to bring it up, see if
we'll.
there's anything we could do, so.
we'll let
Thank
you
y'all
know.
very much.
Yes, sir.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Brent. Okay, the next person on our agenda tonight is Miss Judy Callen with the Women's Club, reference to waiver of the fees for Steel Creek Lodge. Miss Callen, come up, please.
Okay, first I'd like to make a little correction on the agenda. The Women's Club is not having the Grinch breakfast. We're going to be the recipient, part of the recipients of the money that's earned. I would not attempt to do what Jennifer Phillips does every year. It's just, she does an awesome job. But because we are the recipients, I would like for you to consider waiving the fee for the use of the lodge that day. She anticipates making quite a bit of money, and that'll go a long way toward the helping us with the rest of our money for this first edition, so, of the chapel. So if you would, I'd like for you to consider the waiver of these fees.
Did you say it was for a dinner?
Huh?
I thought you said it was for a dinner. I'm sorry.
No, it's the Grinch program.
Breakfast.
Grinch breakfast, yes.
Oh, I thought you had told me and Heather that it was for a dinner.
No, we're having a dinner, but that's a different occasion. We're having a dinner on the 13th of November.
Okay.
And I think, hopefully y'all put that on your calendar too, so. But this is a Grinch breakfast, and it's awesome, so.
Mayor, I do notice her plans are to give the proceeds from that to the Women's Club, the SCDO, and to 3 churches. And so that's similar to what she's planning on doing with the money.
Thing has definitely been very popular for the last couple of years,
Yes.
that's for sure.
She was telling me that she might even have to add a third sitting this year, which she's already got people wanting reservations. So it's a tremendous thing, so.
How much money has she donated in the last 2 years, do you know?
I don't know exact figures. I know she's hoping to make 10,000 this year, is what she's hoping to make.
I know that her first year, I don't know who she gave it to other than us. 2 years ago, she gave it to us, and it was close to $4,000 for her first
SCDO
year.
last year, I believe.
Right, so it's quite a bit of money, and she's expecting a lot more this year. The first year, she had a lot of expenses.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, yes. So,
Well, I for one don't have any problem with it. I mean, I think it's, a nice event that's been very popular and raised money and
Right.
so, and I'm sure that y'all, the SCDO and the churches can all use the money and put it to good
absolutely.
use.
Okay, thank you.
Only question I have is on the cleanup fee. I know we've usually charged the school and other organizations that they're responsible for that fee. That's the only question I have. I don't have any issues on the rental, but, because we've waived rental for those organizations as well, but they're also held liable for the cleanup fee. That's only my reservation on that.
She asked me when I talked to her today, this afternoon, I asked her about the rental fee the cleanup fee, and she said that she had never paid it before. She didn't know if somebody else had paid it or if it had been waived. She wasn't sure,
Gotcha.
so. And that's at the pleasure of the council.
I got you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Ms. Callen. There's no one else on the agenda to speak tonight. If anybody has shown up late or has anything they would like to come forward with, we're doing pretty good on time. Well, if no one else, we'll go into our regular items for our agenda. Unfortunately, we're still having some sickness and deaths in our community. A couple of longtime residents, Miss Faye Noble passed away since our last meeting, and also Miss Alice Lane Willis. I think both of them had been here for a long time. And also, the longtime principal at Satsuma High School, Mr. Lee Shoke, was passed away. So if you see any of those or anything, you may want to give condolences to their families. This past week, we had the homecoming. Quite a crowd at our ball game the other night. I think everything went very well. The police reported no real problems that week of any significance. We did have a lot of questions come up to us about this curfew, and I've got to tell y'all, some people questioned, and I read some comments that were not nice, but all the calls I received and everything, I didn't have any negative from my parents or grandparents. Even some of the students told me they thought it was a good idea. So just letting y'all know that it did go without any major events, and we even had some of the students that even was out cleaning up Saturday morning, if y'all had a chance to see that. So that went very good. So anyway, glad the homecoming week is behind us now, and that went good. Wish we'd scored a few more points in our football game, but maybe we can continue to work on that. Women's Chapel, y'all went down, y'all seen they did get the slab poured, and I think they're trying to lay the lines out now for the walls, or to start actual construction. So it is starting to take shape, so that's good. You gonna mention the budget, and you're going over, okay? We've got it's going to come up later on, but I was going to bring it up, but it's on the agenda about the execution of the sidewalk inspection contract. I didn't know if y'all had looked over it in the agenda, if there's any questions about that prior to signing that. So it is in the packet if y'all want to read over it. It looks pretty well boilerplate to me. So, and then, of course, y'all can see later on in our meeting tonight, we've got the holiday schedule and the council meeting schedule. So I did want y'all to look over that. I'm always scared of the council meeting being on the 3rd. It's just hard for everybody to get the reports in and have the meeting on the 3rd. So we can do it if you'd like, or we can also move that one that's on our agenda to the 10th. But just think about that before the 7 o'clock meeting. There's a couple other things, but I think it's going to be covered by each one of you are going to bring it up. So those are the main things that I had, and if something that we see that isn't brought up, we'll bring it up later or come back to it. But that's all I have. Public services, Mr. Little.
Mayor, I don't have anything right at the moment.
When we have the workshops, it seems like that the following week, we move through the agenda much quicker. Public safety, Mr. Butler.
I don't have anything either.
Goodness. Mr. Skelton.
We've got some loose ends in the budget that we're trying to get tied up. Some of the bond information, we're trying to get those figures nailed down, and once I get that done, I'll email each of you a draft so you can have it for next Tuesday to go over it. And that's all I have.
Yeah, the workshop was a very productive workshop we had last week, where I think the department heads and all the council members were able to express some of their needs and wants. Now, if we can just make the money work, maybe we can move on. Under Parks and Recreation, Ms. Reese.
I don't have anything.
I'm glad he said that instead of me. I'm really speechless I'm speechless right now, but
What's the point of saying anything if nothing's going to get done that I would like?
Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, I just got some work items. I'll bring them up at the regular meeting.
This is the quickest we've ever gone through the council's portion. Moving on, items for discussion and/or consideration. Y'all got the bills that are there?
They're here if y'all,
Total's $18,053.70.
Y'all got it? Is anybody gonna make a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Phillips, Mr. Little. Discussion B, discussion and consideration of executing the sidewalk inspection contract for the project, which is TAPP-TA 22, in parentheses, 921, is the sidewalk that we've been talking about. That's the inspection or engineering.
I can do that.
Just a reminder on that, Mayor Allen wanted me to let y'all know, or remind you that 80% of the cost is reimbursed by ALDOT during the progress of the construction.
I'll second it, Mayor.
Mr. Skelton, Mr. Phillips on that one. We looked at the holiday schedule. Have y'all got any discussion or changes you want to make? You might want to look over that before the 7 o'clock meeting. I did ask the water board and the city to make sure that they both have the same days this year. Did they come over and all right, I'll need someone if we're gonna pass it tonight. Or we can put it, if we can introduce it tonight and put it to the next one if you want to, because there ain't no holidays between now and then, but it's up to you.
I think you're gonna do it.
All right, Mr. Skelton says he's gonna make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Little will second. Okay, discussion and consideration of the council meeting schedule, which should be the following page in the booklet tonight. I glanced over it real quick, tried to make sure it wasn't bumping into any holidays. That was the only one that I really saw that I thought you might want to look at, like I said, due to any, getting the bills in and here for the meeting that night, getting the department heads' reports and completed in one day. And I don't know if anybody had any travel that they may have been looking at coming up in the, for the that week. So, with that being said, it's in the packet.
Motion.
Do you want to leave it set that way? Do you want to leave the meeting the 3rd or move it?
It's about October 4th,
No, I was talking about the January 3rd
January
meeting.
January
Right
3rd,
after
I'm
the
sorry.
holidays on Tuesday. So most places are off on Monday, and usually one day.
Get it all together. That's fine, we'll do it.
We moved the February 21st to the 28th because of Mardi Gras, and then the same for July 4th.
Right.
Back to work by then. Kids might not be in school, but.
You said you want to leave it to 3rd? Yeah. Randy wants to make a motion? Is there a second?
I'll say,
Motion being made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Skelton. Is there any other business to come? Well, we're asked to add item E for the agenda, which is a workshop, which is going to be the budget and other related topics, so that's, everything falls under the budget, so. Workshop regarding budget and other city business.
handle that.
I'll second that.
Motion be made by Mr. Skelton, second by Mr. Little. Is there any other business that we know needs to come before the council tonight? If there's no other business to come before the council, then that will conclude the meeting. So it is 6:26, so we got us about a half hour. So thank you all. For the ones that need to stay, you're welcome to stay. For those that want to leave, y'all know what we're going to cover. Other than that, we'll see y'all in about a half hour. Thank you. Ready. 7 o'clock, y'all on the left over here? Y'all ready? Okay. We gotta wait on the clerk to get in, she's not here. You find out where clerk is? Pardon? Okay, well, we'll have a hard time starting without her. Are you ready? We got the live stream ready also. Okay. I'd like to call the Satsuma City Council to order for our regular meeting of September 20th, 2022. We ask that if anybody has cell phones, that they please put them to silent or turn them off so they will not be disruptive to our meeting. We start our meetings always with invocation and follow it by pledge. So in just a moment, we'll ask that you stand for the invocation, remain standing for the pledge. So I think tonight is my night, so if you would, please stand and we'll say a word. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you help us to address the needs and concerns of our city tonight. We pray for those, Lord, who have lost loved ones. We pray for those in our community that are sick. We have several members of our community that are in the hospital recovering from injuries and illness. We pray for them and their families. We also pray, Lord, for the employees that we have here, the jobs they've done. We ask that you continue to help us to bless our city. We ask this in all things in your precious name. Amen. Pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on down, Heather, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Little,
Present.
Councilmember Butler,
Present.
Councilmember Skelton,
Present.
Councilmember Reese,
Present.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect that all the elected officials are here, including the city clerk, city attorney, and department heads, police chief and fire chief. Public Works, we had a small accident this afternoon, and Travis is taking care of that, so he called. He did leave some notes of what they've worked on. But other than that, let the record reflect all those that are here for the meeting. The next on our agenda is approval of our minutes from our last meeting, which was, our regular meeting was held on September the 6th, 2022.
I'll put that in the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Skelton to approve the minutes as distributed. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
B, approval of the minutes from our workshop, which was held on September the 13th, 2022. Any corrections, deletions, additions that need to be made? If not, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little to approve the minutes from the workshop. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Agenda.
I'm sorry. Thanks, Mr. Skelton. The agenda we've got tonight, we need to approve the agenda for tonight as distributed, and I think the public call has that. We did have one add-on to that, which would be under items for discussion and consideration, we're adding an E, a workshop to be held next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Is that what we all agreed on, 6 p.m. to have budget and other city business to be discussed?
Correct.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the one addition?
I'll make it.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little, to approve the agenda with the one addition. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to recognitions. We go months without having any. We had some last week and again tonight. So without getting to a lot more, we have a new police officer who's a recent graduate of the police academy. We have Mr. Butler from Public Safety, also Sergeant Wilcutt, who's been leading the police department for the last few months. If y'all would like to both come up along with Judge and Officer William Cherry. If you'd like, Officer, you can bring your wife up to the front here with the children where they can see or take photographs. We welcome you here.
Uh-oh.
How you doing? I'm John Williams, good to see you. And I'm gonna have your wife hold the Bible. Good to see you again. If you'll hold the Bible, please. Officer, if you'd place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I, William J. Cherry,
I, William J. Cherry,
do most solemnly
do most solemnly
and sincerely promise
and sincerely promise
and swear
and swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
that I will enforce the laws
that I will enforce the laws
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the State of Alabama
of the State of Alabama
and the City of Satsuma,
and the City of Satsuma,
so long as I serve
so long as I serve
as a police officer of this city,
as a police officer of this city,
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office and position
of the office and position
for which I'm about to enter
of which I am about to enter,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Heather, the officer is going to need to sign it, whenever. You want me over here to sign?
I hope he was nice to you today.
Okay, Officer Cherry, if you'd like, you can certainly introduce your wife to us, and we welcome you, both of you here.
This is Hannah, she's my fiance.
Okay, Hannah?
And then my three kids back there, the oldest being Elena. She's 3, about to be 4.
Oh,
Lila's the middle child, she's 2. She'll be 3. And then Hudson, he's 1 right now, and he'll be 2 soon.
Well, that's good.
Aw.
You got your hands full.
hey.
Got one on the way too.
Oh,
congratulations.
goodness. Well, congratulations. Well, thank you, and we wish you the very best. Welcome aboard.
Aw.
We'll,
Mayor, thank y'all.
thank you,
Thank
Judge,
you.
for attending. Yes, sir.
He let me in the other side of the stadium over by the band. I was like, hey, ma'am, let me in. And he was like, are you with the band? And I had my shirt on. I was like, yeah. He was like, okay.
Yeah, he does. That's good. Okay, moving on from recognitions, we will move to visitors. I think that Mr. Brent Rawson, who came in our pre-council meeting, has left. But for the record tonight, he did show up and he spoke first regarding the reindeer run to be held on Saturday, December the 10th, 2022, to start at 8 a.m. The council agreed to support that run and that there was no problems with that. Is that the agreement of the council now for the record?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes.
All right, his second item was for us to look at trying to find out some way to get netting basically down the third baseline and left field up to the scoreboard, going back down Second Avenue. He said that balls are being hit into the yards and perhaps to houses and all over there. So we are going to try and find out what the cost would be and who we could get to do that, and we'll come back to the council. So if that's an agreement, we will do that, and I'll try to have it not for the workshop, but for the next council meeting. Our second person that had come before the council tonight was Miss Judy Callen with the Women's Club. She's still here. Ms. Callen, would you like to come back up, or basically, I think we've covered. The request was for to waive the fees at Steel Creek Lodge rental and the cleanup fee, and this will be for the Grinch breakfast, which is scheduled to be held on Saturday morning, December the 3rd of this year. I don't know the times yet. Do you know?
8 and 10.
Two breakfasts scheduled for 8 and 10 a.m. Okay, Ms. Callen, you have basically just what you had asked for earlier, and that was.
Right, yes,
to
I'm
waive
just
the-
speaking on behalf of the committee, Jennifer and her committee. We will be a pretty big recipient of this project that she's taken on, along with several churches and SCDO, but it's, I think it's a very worthwhile project. She does an awesome job doing this, and I would particularly like to see these fees waived if possible.
Basically, it's a fundraiser to give back to the city. I mean, y'all have cleaned it up before. I mean, are you saying the Women's Club will basically guarantee us
No.
the cleaning of the
No,
of
we
the building?
won't have, we will help with the cleanup as our part of being the recipients of the, a part of the grant that she's given us, but we will not be responsible for the cleanup. We definitely will be there to help, though. But we don't want sole
Well,
responsibility.
the council, I think, was just wanting to make sure that the building is cleaned, from what I heard, and that's a fair request we make from everyone.
Absolutely.
So we need to make sure that we do have assurances, basically, I guess, from y'all and the SCDO and the others. And I mean, they've done it they've done it for the last 2 years. I don't know why they wouldn't do it this year. So,
I don't know what her plans were for cleanup, if the fee was waived, I have no idea.
I looked during the break, Mayor, and the fee was paid by Miss Becky Murray last year.
okay.
Like I say, that's at the pleasure of the council. I'm sure we can deal with the cleanup fee if the fees for the rental would be waived for us, so.
Well, I certainly support waiving of the fees, since it's coming back to the community and helping fund the projects actually under construction now. That's my thoughts
Okay,
on it.
thank you.
Were we going to take action on the request, or?
Mayor, I would ask for Jay's input, but my concern at the moment is, and no offense to you, Ms. Callen, but with a citizen or resident coming up asking to waive the rental fee instead of the actual nonprofit organization itself. Because I think what you're going to open up here is opportunity for any citizen to come up and ask for that same thing. So my opinion would be, if SCDO, the Women's Club, officially make that application, I think it would be clear from now on to the future.
Yeah,
That makes
because
sense.
she said that the Women's Club wasn't responsible, so that would not be part of B.
I just don't want us to get into a situation where somebody comes up and asks you to waive the fee for the wedding or some other type of get-together. And that's kind of my concern.
Was it waived last year?
I think SCDO applied last year.
Heather, SCDO, did they apply last year and it was waived for them?
Miss Becky Marie did the application. The rental was waived, but the cleanup was not.
Okay.
And the cleanup fee has changed now, so Mr. Little was asking, it's 200 now, I think? Is it 275? Yeah, it's 275.
It went up.
If you think you can get with the SCDO, I personally would support. I mean, that group, both of those groups are very vital. The SCDO's been here for years too. I would trust them for the cleanup. You think you could get with the SCDO and see if both of y'all perhaps together could come up and assure us that it would be cleaned?
I don't remember what her name is that does it, the program. She just did it in writing. I don't know what this for.
They just normally fill out the application, and it's written on their way, depending on what organization does it.
I'm sorry, has there been an application for this?
Not yet, and I don't know, I've not received one, so.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and see if we can get the applications, make sure that everything's filled out first. We need to make sure it is reserved. And then hopefully between the Women's Club and the SCDO, we can fill it out and bring it back and ask for waiving of the fee. We just got to ensure that we've got somebody to be responsible in case it wasn't cleaned or there was some question on anything. I don't think it's too much to ask, is it? Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to come before the council tonight?
Mayor, I mentioned that some people from Satsuma softball would like to speak in regards to the C&D field restroom project.
If you'd like to approach the council, please come to the podium, state your name and the purpose, and when you're not on the agenda, we ask you to keep it very brief, that way, because, the council hadn't had a chance to review what you might be asking, but go ahead, please.
My name is Stella Clark. I coach over at the ballpark. And we've got fields, most ballparks, the restroom facilities are located, it's a diamond in between. It's a unique situation over here where you've got two fields, then you've got the baseball field, and then you go and you've got two more. And we're growing our numbers there at that park. I think we've almost doubled our enrollment this year. It gives these kids a good outlet, but the problem being is that we've got portlets. And if they have to use the restroom, they're full. If a kid has to come out, Coach, I gotta go to the restroom, they can't run around to the other field. And just to be quite honest with you, I'm proud to live in the city of Satsuma, but when we have people visit and play on those fields, they're just in disbelief that they have to go to a portlet. And we're asking to try to get some type of restroom facilities.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Clark, for coming up.
Thank you.
We're glad to hear the numbers are increasing for the softball. So, okay, is there anyone else that would like to come before the council tonight? Well, if there's no one else to come before the council, we'll go into our regular order of business. We start with the mayor's report, and I was very brief tonight. I did express the condolences on behalf of the mayor and council to the families of Miss Faye Noble. Also Alice Lane Willis, both were longtime residents of Satsuma. And also I don't know, most of you, I think, knew Mr. Lee Chokwas, former principal, longtime principal over at Satsuma High School, passed away. I think his service was held Monday, if memory serves me right. The last couple of weeks, we have gotten some paperwork in that we got from AlDOT regarding the street paving on Old 43, which they have signed off on now for the CRISA funding. So hopefully that project will be still scheduled for November to do those additional streets. This past week, we had homecoming. It was a a lot of rolling and other activities from the youth, but I can report that at the end of the week, there was no major incidents. Police reported that everything went pretty smooth. There was no one that didn't comply with the verbal request of the officers to go on in at midnight, so that was good. And I did say thanks to the students who went out Saturday and helped us clean up. I mentioned to you that the slab was poured on the Union Chapel, so we are seeing some work there, and they did some groundwork around it, so that's starting to really show some progress there. We have several other things, but I believe it's going to be brought up in the items for discussion and consideration later in the meeting. But really, I don't have much on the agenda tonight for myself, so with that being said, I'll move to public services with Mr. Randy Little.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have much either. I failed to mention earlier, I was down at the community center and just wanted to thank the workers that come down and moved some things around and cleaned out, and everything looks better down there. They just said they need a few more people to come.
Good.
That's all, thanks.
Good, thank you. Moving to public safety, Mr. Butler.
I don't have anything today, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Butler. Moving to administration, Mr. Skelton.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone that we're still working on the budget stuff, and we will get you a draft copy towards the end of the week, so we can have it for the workshop next Tuesday. That's all I have.
Appreciate your work on that. Thank you, Mr. Skelton. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Ms. Reese.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to reiterate what our visitor said about the lack of restrooms at the C&D field. And I do understand that there are facilities at that park, but it's just 2 regular stalls and a handicap stall. And when you have hundreds of people that are at the park, those few restrooms is not enough to service everybody. And again, it is embarrassing when you have out-of-town guests come and they have to use the portalette. We want to represent a community that takes care of its citizens and its children. And by having a restroom with running water, I think that's a big way to show that we care. They did have the rundown shack building that I don't even know if it's still there or not. I think it was moved, but that's what they would sell concessions out of. And I think as a community, we can do better. We want to be proud of what we have to offer. And so just going into the next budget meeting, I hope that you all consider, including that in the capital, like it has been for the past couple of years, and finally see this project through. And I just ask that some folks had come out so we can see that there are faces behind this request. It's not just something that I would like, but it's a real need for the community. And they did mention that when you go around the backside of the baseball field, it's dimly lit, so there is a security aspect of, having the kids go around. And if you've got children playing and you're a mom and you have to take your other child to the restroom, you're not going to want to have to run all the way, around the other side of the field or around the other side of the baseball field to get to the bathrooms, just stand in line because other people are already waiting. So just hope that you guys remember this and take it into consideration for next time. Thank you.
Moving on to Public Works, Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, I'm just going to call out some things Public Works been able to accomplish since our last meeting. And they done asphalt patch and resurfacing at Pilot, Baldwin Road, Northgate, and Thomas. Cut limbs on Carl, and they finished the installation of the yellow bulbs and bows at Baldwin Square for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We also sprayed a lot of the sidewalks with weed killer. Repaired a sinkhole at Cedar and Carl, and a drain box at Cedar and Carl. Replaced signs throughout the city. We also brought in the sidearm cutter and the grader again for Friday and Saturday, and they made a lot of headway. the new street signs for the asphalt project for 3rd Maple, 2nd, Maple Court, First Park, Orange, Deer Lane, and Gale Lane have been ordered. And that's just in general, we've done a lot of miscellaneous jobs, but that was the major things. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. I'm sorry, Ms. Reese, at the end of your speaking, I do think that the people were putting up the sign this afternoon also at the Bark Park with the rules and regulations and the sign that you had asked, so you may want to go by and look at that.
I drove by after work and I didn't see anybody, so I can take a look in the morning, see if they got something up there. That'd be good.
Well, I got a text just before the meeting started. They were up there working at the time, so.
Awesome. Can't wait to see it. Thank you.
Okay, that's all from the council, so now we will move to items for discussion and/or consideration. A is payment of the bills. What was the amount of the bills tonight, Ms. Davis?
I need to put that in the motion,
Yes.
$18,053.70.
70 cents. I'll put that in form of motion, to pay our bills.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Little to pay the bills in the set amount of $18,053.70. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. B, discussion and consideration of executing the sidewalk inspection contract for the project, the TAPA TAPAA-TA 22-921 in parentheses, basically engineering for the sidewalk grant that we are bidding out. I think it's the 19th of next month.
I'll put that in the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips to approve the contract that's in the packet of information tonight. Is there any discussion on it? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
C, discussion and consideration of the holiday schedule for the fiscal year of 2022 through 2023.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
D, discussion and consideration of our council meeting schedule for the upcoming year of 2022-2023. There are a couple of them that's moved, if you'd like to identify those real quick in case there's any questions. Due to it conflicting with a holiday, I know that Mardi Gras was one,
July 4th was the other.
July the 4th. Other than that, we should be on the regular schedule.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Skelton to pass the council meeting schedule for the upcoming year. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Final thing on our agenda tonight is E, workshop scheduled for next Tuesday, which will be September the 27th at 6 p.m. To discuss the budget and other city business, which basically could be anything since the budget controls basically everything we do. So if that's okay with everybody, I think we agreed on that at our workshop last week, but I will need that.
I'll make that in form of a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Skelton to add a workshop next Tuesday night for the said reasons listed. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Folks, we have had one of the fastest meetings we've had. Is there any other business to come before the council tonight? Okay, Ms. Phillips? If you would, please state your name and
I wasn't
Just for the record.
prepared to come tonight, but I was watching on TV, the meeting. I'm Delane Phillips, Bubba's wife,
yes, ma'am.
but I'm not coming as him, I'm coming as a citizen.
Okay.
I am part of the Grinch.
Okay.
We worked many hours cleaning up the place after, oh, don't do your eyes like that at me.
That's what you were doing at me. I don't know. You were kind of giving me a
Many
look.
Come on, let's,
cleaning up.
right,
And I
okay.
wanted
come
to
on.
personally guarantee that it will be clean when we leave there. Mr. Little has been there helping clean up. I don't know why he didn't speak up. He spent many hours cleaning that place up. For y'all to sit up here and say, want to know if it's gonna be clean. Did you hear anything? We've done it 3 years. Have you heard anything that we didn't clean up?
I didn't insinuate that you wasn't.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you were.
ma'am,
You
I
want to
wasn't.
make sure, guarantee it was
Ma'am.
cleaned up.
I didn't
Or
say
you
that.
wanted to delay it because of personal reasons with the council.
No, ma'am, it's not personal.
Okay.
I stated my opinion that, and Jay even backed it up, and I have no no objection to what you're doing.
Well, I don't know why y'all want to drag it out,
I'm
but
not,
anyway, that's all I got to say.
Okay, Ms. Phillips, I think we're going to get it worked out. Thank you. That's all that was on the agenda. It's all we've discussed tonight. If there's nothing else further, if we can get a motion to adjourn, we will be out here and we'll come back next Tuesday and hopefully get the budget.
so moved.
Motion made to adjourn the meeting. Second?
Second.
Motion made and second, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.